for you. So I'm McCollum. And then this is KSCO. I see you good time, but it's taking in so close town, but sometimes I feel I feel like I'm dying. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Duncan McCollum coming to you from KSCO. I'm very happy to be here. For those of you on Facebook or watching this later, I'm wearing my Giants jersey, number 24, Willie Mays. I went to the opening yesterday, and we went up to San Jose and got on the train and took the train up to the stadium. And what fun that was. Just really relaxing, not having to fight the crowd, especially coming back on a Friday afternoon. But Giants won the opener, which is awesome. And I got this cool hat and one for a couple other friends just to start the new year and a new season. So very good for the Giants. Glad they're there. So a couple things I want to talk about today. Number one is if you're just looking for something fun to do tomorrow afternoon from 1 to 3 o'clock and you're in the Capitola area, come on up to Mr. Toots. Rocky Pace will be singing there, and he's asked me to sit in on a couple numbers. So I'll be singing with this other really great vocalist named Suki, myself, and Brian. We'll be singing a song called Centerpiece from Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross. I'm now calling it Brian, Suki, and Dunk. It's the name of our group. I just made that up. And then I'll be doing a couple other numbers. So love to have you come. If you want to see another side of what I do, I enjoy singing. I've been a vocalist and a musician for about 50 years. And it's just fun to get out and play with my craft. I've been woodshedding for so long. Anyway, so this is the starting of the second quarter already. Unbelievable. And we have the eclipse coming up in the next couple days. And, this is a really good time just to reassess where you are in your life and in your health, in your circumstances, if you're having the misfortune to be under them for some reason. And it's time to get out from under those circumstances and create new ones. I was listening to somebody this morning that was talking about business, and she said, she'd heard this from her mentor, Grant Cardone, and I'm sure he heard it somewhere. But basically, if you haven't ever been disappointed, then you're not trying hard enough, or you're not setting your goals high enough. And it's rough. Sometimes the disappointment stops us from reaching. It stops us from trying to do something, change our lives, change the life of others, or just, take a new path. And so just take a look at your life and go, wow, am I afraid of being disappointed? And of course we all are, but if you don't challenge yourself, you'll never be disappointed, because you'll never get to the point of failing enough times to succeed. And Thomas Edison said when he was trying to make the light bulb, he said, I never really failed. I just didn't make it go right 10,000 times. That's not exactly his word, because I don't think that was the vernacular back then in his time. But, I always believe it's never too late for a new beginning. And that has to do with so many different parts of our life. Today, I'm going to be really talking about your health as something I usually talk about. But I think it's really important for us to talk about vitamin G. Vitamin G is the most expensive vitamin you'll never buy. It's actually the least expensive vitamin that you should buy. And I'll talk about what vitamin G is soon. In the last 2 weeks, it's been very interesting. Talk about disappointments and or challenges. I'll call them more challenges. Last week, when I was here doing my show, immediately afterwards, I was um, what's the right word? I was a victim of senior abuse, I might say. So I got, and I've got these a lot, just like all of us do. Uh, I got a text from my Facebook that said I violated copyright, and if I don't respond in 24 hours, I'm going to lose my account. Well, since I play music at the beginning and in my show, I thought, oh man, I played it more than 30 seconds. Okay, well, I'll click this and click that. And then they said, just make sure you enter your password, which I did. Next thing I know, my Facebook account was closed to me. Somebody had put in a new email address and a new password, and nothing worked. So at that point, I just went, oh man, I think I blew it. And I gave it over to my staff, who's very, very able, and Mariah, and she worked with it and said, Matt, I think it's gone. Everything we've tried to go back and forth with the Facebook information center just didn't work. Well, I was very fortunate, and I'm not going to go into the details on it, but I got my Facebook account back with all 4,000 contacts that I have. Duncan McCollum, that account, McCollum Family Chiropractic, Dr. Duncan McCollum, and then Health Rebels, the group that is where I do most of my challenges and stuff along that line. So very happy to get that back. Not only that, my Zoom account froze. It was like one of those weeks where, I could have been upset about it, or, I was pretty much willing to go, okay, I'm just going to start over again, and looked at it as an opportunity to rebuild my group with enthusiasm and excitement. Thank gosh, I don't have to do that. But at any rate, that was one of those challenges. I felt like I was tied to a whipping post because everything I was trying to do just collapsed from underneath me. And I don't know if you've ever had those days, weeks, months, or years, but for several years of my life, I was in so much pain from a chronic back injury that I could not live a decent life. I was medicating, self-medicating, and I was not moving forward. And I would stay self-medicated because I didn't want to be disappointed in my pain and my ability to do things. I couldn't read till I was 28. A lot of things, that were just my personal challenges. We all have our own. But I was able to rise above that by the graces of whoever you grace. And here I am today. I've been a chiropractor for 35 years, and I really love what I do. I love helping people. Last week, I talked about people that might be disappointed, disillusioned, fearful of, suspicious of what's going on in our medical field in this country. And rightly so. We're rated 50th in the world for health, and we spend $4.3 trillion on health every year in this country. And so I talked about two patients that came into my office a week, and it's been 2 weeks now, already mad at us before they walked in the door because they were equating us with some other medical system they've been in. I think it was a sickness care system, and that's not a good system to be in. Emergency, Western medicine emergencies, awesome. It saved my life more than once, and many people I know. But when you mitigate symptoms with medication without getting to the cause, then you're just a time bomb ticking away, waiting for the next foot to drop. So with that in mind, I've been working with Dr. Dan Pompa for 7 years. He's the leading, has a leading healthcare natural or coaching business in the world. He is just busting at the seams because people want answers. And his answer to chronic disease is simple: fix the cell to get well. If you don't fix a cell, you won't get well. You can throw all kinds of things on disease or infirmaries or things that are destroying your health. And maybe have some marginal results or relatively decent results for a period of time. Of course, in the end, it gets all of us. Something gets all of us. It's best to just, not wake up one day like George Burns, where he liked to smoke cigars and drink every day till he was 105 years old. And, he was very lucid. He was funny. He enjoyed his life all the way. But not all of us are going to have his genetics, and not all of us are going to have his tolerance to the toxic environment. And, we're getting sick at a very much younger age than him. In fact, right now, 50% of the children in our country have chronic disease, some kind of chronic disease, and a lot of it's genetic. So how can, as we get more able, more scientific, more information on how the body works, how can we possibly have the sickest country in the world? It either has to be by design, or we just really aren't that smart after all. I believe it's probably the first. But I'm going to talk for a minute about a vitamin that I talked about before in the early part of the show. But it's the most important vitamin for you, and it's the best vitamin that you can get and it doesn't cost you anything. It's called vitamin G. G stands for gratitude. And I around the first of the year, I was passing out these gratitude bottles. Vitamin G, you could get them at my office. I have to make some more because they're all gone. I got a call from a teacher, a local teacher this last week, and she asked about these. And I go, well, I don't have any. I'm all out of gratitude right now. And she says, wow, that's too bad, because I want to give it to 50 teachers that I work with. And I went, wow, I'm going to muster up some more gratitude. So I'm going to get more of these bottles made. And once I do, you're free to come back and buy and pick one up. I'm just going to read what it says on the vitamin G bottle. And if you're on Facebook or watching this later on YouTube, you'll see the bottle. And it says, McCollum Family Chiropractic, vitamin G, 100% pure gratitude. And the line underneath that says, please don't keep away from children. And then when you look at the serving size, or the serving, it says sugar 0%, fat 0%, protein 0%, calories 0, gratitude 100%. And then it goes BPA free, naturally sourced, environmentally sustainable, no animal testing. Actually, we did do animal testing. We found that any place that we tried gratitude, it always had a positive effect with no harm to the person or animal that we were practicing it on. So I'm going to change that to animal testing instead of no animal testing. It's this particular supplement here. It's gluten-free, non-GMO. It's 100% organically sourced. The ingredients, it's shade grown, harvested by hand, and for no forever chemicals, and it's packaged with love. So that's formulated by Benazati, and the purity tested by Dr. Dan Pompa. So these gratitude bottles, we're going to be having them restocked here within a few weeks, and I'd be more than happy for you to come by and ask for one on me, no cost. I would rather you be able to enjoy the gratitude. Now, what you do, there's instructions on this. Hold the bottle in your hand every morning and think of 10 things that you are grateful for. Now, I've been doing this for many, many years, and I realize that sometimes it's really hard to think of anything you're grateful for. So you might have very ill health. You might have very bad circumstances. Perhaps you're something to do with your living situation, a family member, a job, all these different types of things, your own health. So sometimes it's very difficult to find something to be grateful to. So find one thing. And it doesn't have to be in the present. It might be an uncle or an aunt or a sister or brother or friend that you had 40, 50, 60 years ago. But what we know is if you locate that person or those people or those circumstances and focus on them, you're going to create brain chemistry, which is going to put forth dopamine and serotonin and perhaps even oxytocin. which are the three main feel-good transmitters. And it's going to go down that chain to help you feel good every morning. So hold the bottle in your hand every morning and to think of 10 things that you're grateful for. Think of one if that's all you can, but do it every day and you will find your life changing. And another thing is express gratitude to the first 10 people you see. And oftentimes this is difficult. You know, like sometimes I'll go into a coffee shop or some kind of place and the service is not so great. And it might be fair. I ask for something, I pay for it and they give it to me, but there's no eye contact, no have a nice day, no thank you. And you kind of feel like, why bother coming in here? So, um, but if you just show gratitude to people, and sometimes it just creates a landslide effect where, when you start to show gratitude, you never know how far one small act of kindness might go. So I encourage you today to, if you're out and about, show gratitude. If you have a family member or friend or somebody that you haven't talked to for a long time, reach out to them. It might really just be what they need to get through the day. A couple of weeks ago, I quoted a verse from a song by Frank Sinatra. And, it's, I've been a pauper, a poet, a pirate, a pauper, or whatever it is, a pawn and a thief. You've been up and down and over and out and all these things. And, sometimes that's just the first hour of my day. I wake up excited, depressed, disappointed. And you never know when you're going to touch that person that day. Where are they in that spectrum? They might be, at that high point, or they might be at a low point, or they might be at a point of wanting. So, and it's really tough to do this, but just, show gratitude and just say, hi, how you doing? Hope all's well. Actually, don't ask them how they're doing because they're either going to lie to you or tell you the truth. So, a lot of times we have this kind of tacit response. How's it going? Great. Then they turn around and they're crying or they're thinking of something terrible to do and we never know it. So the better part for me is to say, hey, it's good to see you. And then comment about something that you see on that person or you feel from that person that's positive. Like, wow, those are really cool earrings, or that shirt brings out the black in your eyes or the brown in your eyes or the blue in your eyes, something that would lift them up. And I think if we all started doing that, the degree of hate that we see across this country right now, it starts with you, starts with each one of us. So I think the best medicine is vitamin G for gratitude. There's another part of this. It says, let's see, repeat often. And then the nutritional value, vitamin G may reduce brain fog, increase hormone optimization, balance the autonomic nervous system by upregulating parasympathetic response, reducing cellular I can't read this. I need my glasses to be better. Improving cellular function, increase mental clarity, focus, and productivity, optimize mitochondrial energy, increase the body's production of serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, increase happiness, improve sleep, and general likability. I like that part. Vitamin G has been shown to unleash your own innate intelligence, allowing the greatest physician who ever lived to work its miracles so your body can heal. Side effects, all of the above. Now, just a warning here on all bottles, you have to have a warning. This product has not been approved by the FDA, CDC, NIH, FBI, CIA, or World Health Organization. So anyway, vitamin G, consume it at your own risk, but we don't get too many ill effects And if you go to the CDC website, I don't think I'm going to find warning for having too much gratitude. So anyway, that's my message for today is the gratitude, and to really go out and spread it today. I'm very grateful that the Giants won. Okay, so on with the show. This is it. I've talked about this event coming up for the last several weeks, and it's coming up on April 15th, and it's not too late to start. I really, really encourage anybody to do this, because we're doing, with Dr. Dan Pompa, we're doing a reset with him. We're going to be doing his core cellular detox and the prep phase of his core cellular detox. If you don't know who Dr. Dan Pompa is, look him up. This is an opportunity to have one of his seminars done at a very inexpensive price compared to if you were to go try to find him somewhere. He's going to be doing it in conjunct with our office, starts April 15th, and it's going to be a 1-month program. Basically, the preparation phase, which is going to be opening up the detox, downstream detox pathways in your body, that being the large intestine, the colon, the kidney, the bladder, and the lymphatics. It's kind of interesting. I was in Whole Foods the other day. I was standing in line, and this woman walked up behind me, and she was all dressed in nurse garb. And she was a pretty energetic person. And she just said, "Hey, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day. I just got off work. I work in the cardiac ICU department there at Dominican. And, I just realized that, you have to be as happy as you can and as grateful as you can." And she just was going on and on and on about gratitude. And she didn't know who I was, and I didn't let on that I did. But she started saying, the trouble with everybody's problem is their gut. Their leaky gut. This is what's causing disease across the country. We could only fix leaky gut. And she's not half wrong, but she's half right, because leaky gut is the result of something else. A gut doesn't leak by itself. There has to be a reason. A tire doesn't leak air by itself. There has to be a reason. The tire could either be worn out and have the treads showing, which would be a large intestine that's so beat up that the cell walls just can't hold or sustain the functions of life and digestion correctly, which will make you sick. Or you have a puncture in it, like that doesn't happen very often, maybe when you're in surgery and they nick it for some reason. So really, the real issue here is with leaky gut or intestinal permeability, which she is right. When your digestive system doesn't work right, you cannot eliminate toxins. They get reabsorbed back into your body, and they keep making that blood toxic. Your blood flows through your body, and it goes through the liver. The liver is supposed to clean the blood, and then good blood comes out, and it keeps circulating around, delivering oxygen and nutrients to the cells, then gathering up that carbon dioxide that the cells make when they're making energy, taking that carbon dioxide, running it through the lungs, turning it into oxygen again, and distributing all the toxins through the liver and kidney as a sieve to pull out the bad particles to go through your bladder and or your large intestine. That's a beautiful thing. That all works as long as you're healthy. However, what's happened over the years with all the toxins in the environment, these bad things get into our body and they turn on bad genes. Bad genes would be cancer genes, Alzheimer's genes, things like multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease. So many of these different diseases, everybody has many of these genes that could cause devastating effects to their health. In fact, I mentioned George Burns. There's no doubt he had all of the genes that would potentially kill him. They just never got turned on for whatever reason. His body's cup of the ability of his body to hide toxins in this fictitious cup never filled up. So he could filter out the toxins before they got into the cells and turned on the bad genes. So this is what happens. Now, the kids that are in their, not even 10 years old yet are getting chronic inflammatory diseases. This just doesn't make sense. unless you realize that our country and the world's filled up with a lot more toxins, but also that the bodies are not able to get rid of the toxins or hide them. And this is because of terribly weakened immune response in our country and around the world. The deficiency in the food supply that we have because of the empty calorie food from processing, from commercial farming to the point that there's really nothing nutritious in there. The packaging, the chemicals and preservatives and fillers they put into the packaged food that are just causing your body to be inflamed. When your body's inflamed, disease occurs. Because when the cell is inflamed, so your body's made up of 75 trillion cells. So when you get inflammation at a cellular level, you have 75 trillion cells that are inflamed. This is why when this gets to this point, there's no easy fix. There is not a pill you can take. There's not a 20-day, 30-day cleanse that you can do to really be effective. You need to, hey, it's Dr. Ben. It's Ben Azadi, my good friend with the vitamin G. I was going over it, Ben, talking about how good vitamin G is and, that we got to get this stuff spread out throughout the world. Anyway, thanks for visiting. So I'm talking about the inflamed body and the 75 trillion cells that are stopping us from being healthy. And once our body detox system can no longer keep our body clean, we get sick. So what we're doing this next week with Dr. Pompa at the helm is we're doing this detox program where Dr. Pompa is going to walk us through the first 30 days of what is called his core cellular detox program. He's going to be teaching you what you need to do to get your body healthy. And at the end of that 30 days, you're going to be in one of about 3 different categories. You're going to feel a lot better and go, wow, I want to keep going. What do I do to skyrocket my health and my future and my chances of not getting chronic diseases? Or you're going to go, wow, I feel kind of like I'm really unhealthy. What do I do now to help the next step of getting my health back together? So those are the real 2, really, and we're going to help you take a look at where you're at that point. And there'll be a few different choices people can make to decide what they need to do. But he will be walking you personally through his 5R program. And this is going to be one of the best things for you because his motto is, fix a cell to get well. But also, we know that we don't want to give you a fish. We want to teach you to fish because when you're able to fish, you can fish for a lifetime. So we're going, hey, MZ, you're in Greece, I understand. Cool. Thanks for tuning in for a sec. But the 5 R's that Dr. Pompa is going to be teaching us about, the first R is remove the source. So we're going to be removing the source of toxins, and you don't even know where these toxins exist. Thanks, MZ. I went to opening game yesterday. Giants won right at the 9th. It's awesome. My new hat. Anyway, we're going to remove the source of toxins. A lot of these are under your kitchen sink. They're stuff you put under your arm, things you wash your clothes with, foods you eat that you're not even aware of, the environment that you're in. And these type of things, you're going to get a good education of this and understanding. And also, quite honestly, I'm going to tell you what, you're going to be able to get through a portal. Have you ever wanted to get through a portal? Sounds pretty cool with all this UF stuff they're talking about. Anyway, you're going to be able to get into Dr. Pompa's portal to learn so much. It's loaded with information for you so that you can understand how to be and stay healthy. So the first R, remove the source. Second R, regenerate the cell membrane. So we're going to find out that the cell membrane is the most intelligent part of our body. Dr. Bruce Lipton talked about the cell membrane and how it knows when to run and when to walk away and when to run, when to hold them and fold them. So the cell wall is made up of amazing oils, and you need to have the right oils in that cell wall in order for the body to absorb oxygen, minerals, vitamins, hormones, the energy, glucose, and ketones. but when the cell walls are plugged due to chronic inflammation, nothing you do is going to get you well until you unplug those cells and replace the cell wall with good oils. So Dr. Pompa will walk you through that. The third R is restoring cellular energy. So I just talked about glucose and ketones. Those are the energy fuel that gets into our cell, into a healthy cell, so that the cell can, the nutrients can get into the mitochondria and make energy. Ben says the membrane, small M-E-M, capital B-R-A-N-E, membrane. That's it. I love that. So we want to make sure that that membrane is working so that the good fuel can get into the cell so you can get the energy necessary to sustain life. And then actually that membrane also needs to be able to get the toxins out of the cell so that they can get out of your body. And you're going to learn about that and how the liver and the kidney, the lungs and the skin detoxify your body from these toxins that we get either through the production of energy, or it could be through the environmental toxins that we get in life. The fourth R is reduce inflammation. Remember, chronic inflammation leads to chronic disease. So if we can get rid of inflammation at the cellular level chronically, then your body can actually do what it's supposed to, and that's heal. Remember, the greatest physician who ever lives right inside of you. So it's really important that you start to learn this, because you're going to have the tools by the end of this 30 days to be able to help steer and guide your health, or know the right place to look for health. You know, if you're having problems. And the Dr. Pompa program, by the time you're through it, he has told me that they will know their next step to getting well. But if you don't clean your downstream detox pathways, like the colon, the liver, your kidneys, your bladder, and lymphatics, no matter what you do, you're just stirring the pot, and your body will never have a chance to really get well. You know, there's a lot of things that you can do, cleanses here and there. And people often say, oh, I did a cleanse last year, or I did a heavy metal cleanse. Dr. Pompa clearly says it's years, not months. And if you really want to get healthy, you're going to have to learn how to do this for a lifetime. Just like you floss your teeth, you got to floss your cells and floss your brain. And we're going to teach you how to do that. And then the fifth R, reestablish methylation, which is how your body keeps itself clean, it detoxifies, and there's a lot of great information on that. So who should do this program? I think anybody should. And I'm going to tell you what it costs here in a minute, because we're getting it at probably half price of what you would get if you were to do it through the Pompa program. But if you've ever experienced brain fog, lack of energy, pain, inflammation, lack of mental clarity, sluggishness, stubborn body fat, weight loss resistance, insomnia, peripheral neuropathy, and restless leg syndrome, which is part of peripheral neuropathy, then you should learn about this program. Now, the supplements that Dr. Pompa is going to be using, or you're going to be using, are you can't get them anywhere else other than through the Pompa program. And these 5 different supplements that you're going to use have uniquely been grown on mushrooms based on what body part they're supposed to attach to. For instance, I'm sure you've all heard of lion's mane mushroom, which is good for the brain. Well, same as ginkgo biloba, and many other anti-inflammatory products or herbs. So he has been working with mycologists to get the nutrients out of these plants and herbs by the digestion of those plant and herbs by the mushrooms themselves, making uniquely available the substances that would never get by eating the herb alone. And then he also ferments these things. So when you have damaged guts, like most people do, it's very difficult to digest food. So if we ferment the stuff already, it's going to make it that much easier for our body to get the nutrients into our body. So it's pretty cool. Many of us, and Ben Azadi was just on a minute ago on the Facebook read here, but you know, many of us have, there's about 40 of us platinum doctors or platinum members, and we have tried these different things to find out the best way to do it. So oftentimes Dr. Pompa will go, okay, who wants to try this one or who wants to try that one? And, we all volunteer for different things. And out of that, we come up with a very workable system that's making incredible gains for people's health. So I'm really excited to be able to offer this to you. It would cost individually, if he even sold it by the prep phase by itself, which he doesn't, it would be about $1,400. We are offering this with Dr. Pompa's group through my office for $697. Now, $300 of that are these proprietary supplements that are going to change your health and change your life. So really, for less than $400, $100 a week, what you're going to blow on coffee and junk food, for $100 a week, Dr. Pompa is going to teach you how to change your life forever. So I highly recommend that you go to McCollum Family Chiropractic. It's Mariah at McCollum Wellness, actually. Mariah at McCollum Wellness, and sign up for this program. Okay, because we're starting on April 15th. It's going to take you a few days to get the supplements once you order them through the Pompa link that we're going to give to you. But I'm so excited to be able to do this because one of the things that I focus on in my office is the upstream cause of problems. And many of you have been listening to my show for a long time, and you know that right now, all chronic disease seems to culminate in something called peripheral neuropathy. And we are seeing this as an epidemic. And what peripheral neuropathy means is that the nerves at the end of your toes or fingers are starting to die and shrink. This is because of several things. Diabetes is probably the number one cause because 60% of us are diabetic or pre-diabetic in this country. And then you have things like chemotherapy, radiation. A huge amount of it is by the chemicals we've been exposed to. Cigarettes that people might have smoked, alcohol, glyphosate, chemicals in your clothes, your food, around your house. I was a mechanic for 9 years and professional. Prior to that, I was still a mechanic, but I just did it in my backyard. But whenever I wanted to clean my hands, I always stuck my hands in brake fluid to get the grease off and out of my fingernails. So I would soak them in brake fluid. That brake fluid goes right into the skin, into the bloodstream, tries to get cleaned by the liver and get out of your body. But when your liver's overwhelmed and can't do a good job of cleaning it, it starts to store all of these chemicals in your fat cells and in your tissue and in your brain. And it's over a period of time, the everything dulls, your whole body dulls because of these toxic chemicals. And or bad blood sugar. Smoking is terrible for these peripheral nerves. Alcohol, vitamin deficiency, nutritional deficiency. There's so many different roads that lead to peripheral neuropathy, but we're getting amazing results in our office for it. So if you haven't heard about this, if you know anybody that's having numbness or tingling in their extremities, they have pain, they can't put a sheet on their feet at night because it bothers them too much. They don't want to walk on uneven surfaces. They don't want to entertain because they're afraid that they're going to show that they're stumbling. One of the biggest issues is they can't drive cars because they don't know if their feet are on the gas pedal or the brake. Literally, I've had patients tell me this, and within a period of time, not too long, we've been able to remedy that. So what if we can give you your independence back by handling these downstream problems? So the peripheral nerves need oxygen and nutrients to stay alive. And if they don't have oxygen and nutrients, they start to die. And when they die, they creep up towards your ankles and then up your legs. And as they lose the oxygen in the extremities, pretty soon the medical profession has a great solution to that. I won't go into what that is because I just don't like to talk about that stuff. But the good news is that you can change this and reverse it. So and we've had incredible results. So if you want to come in and see if we can help your peripheral neuropathy, then call my office, 831-459-9990. We do a $99 initial test. We take thermal imaging of your hands and feet. We do 7 universal neuropathy tests in our office that they are pretty universal no matter where you go to find out if your senses are indeed starting to decline. Sometimes people can't feel some of them at all, like hot, cold, numbness, vibration, and all these other senses, fine touch. And this is really important. But why did this occur? This occurred because of upstream toxicity. You don't get peripheral neuropathy without an upstream cause. Your toes don't just start dying on their own. You know, there has to be something in this unique body of ours that started with one cell at the moment of fertilization and split up until it turned into 75 trillion cells, which is you. So you're 75 trillion cells, and each one of those has a nerve telling it what to do, and it has a system involved in it, several systems to keep it functioning. And it's just remarkable what our bodies can put up with and how they keep going despite ourselves. So through two things, today you can do the Dr. Dan Pompa program at my office. I highly recommend it. There's a barcode. If you're on Facebook, you can just hit that barcode. I'll put it up again a little later, and you can get access to the sign up, and you'll sign up through the Dr. Pompa program, through their portal. You'll be put into his incredible portal filled with everything that he teaches. And he's got the fastest growing detox platform on the planet. He's helping so many people, and he's expanding to where he's going, okay, platinum doctors of 40 of us, we got to start getting this so easily implemented in your offices that we want to help you bring them into our incredibly successful program so that people in your community, being our Santa Cruz community, can start to reap the benefits of cleaning out and handling or beginning to handle the upstream cause of things like peripheral neuropathy and chronic disease. We'll be talking about the fourth R is reduce inflammation, and inflammation at a chronic level, or even as a acute level, causes all kinds of things to happen. In an acute level, if oftentimes it's helpful. Inflammation occurs to open up the blood vessels to bring nutrients and stem cells and these things called phagocytes that go in and eat all the bad damaged tissue in. So that body part that's injured blows up purposely to bring in all the nutrients and the cleanup crew and then your own stem cells to rebuild the issue. Cut yourself, you heal. That's acute inflammation. Now, if it's on that basis, it's great. If you get a splinter in your hand and it swells up, that's an acute condition of the body. Turn all that stuff that's white that comes out of there, that's white blood cells going in there eating the damaged tissue. So this is a good thing. But when you have chronic inflammation, it's basically eating up the cell wall of all 75 trillion cells in your body. It's damaging your thyroid gland. It's damaging your arteries going to your heart. It's damaging your liver itself. Your gallbladder starts to plug up and needs to be taken out. Unfortunately, that's what they do rather than just clean out the gallbladder. And we can help you do that as long as it's not too late. Your body has this amazing ability to heal. And we have a pharmaceutical run healthcare system. If it were run by people that wanted to teach you how to have your body heal itself, that would be one whole different scenario. But our healthcare system is run by people that want to have you take their products. Just look at the TV commercials. Two out of every three TV commercials is a drug commercial advertising some drug, and you're supposed to tell your doctor you want this drug, and you're supposed to tell them that you have a liver problem. Oh, and tell them that you're allergic to the chemical that they're wanting you to prescribe. I don't know how you're supposed to know that. And aren't the doctors supposed to know that you have a liver problem? So this started happening many, many years ago, that we could advertise drugs on TV in America. Only one other country in the world allows TV commercials to advertise drugs, and that's New Zealand. Every other country, it's illegal. So you got to wonder why we spend $4.3 trillion on drugs in this country every year. And 70% of that, or $3 trillion, is spent on covering up symptoms. And gabapentin is one of the main ones that people are given for things like chronic pain, especially peripheral neuropathy. But gabapentin has never healed anybody from peripheral neuropathy, ever, okay? All it's done is cover up the symptoms. If I had a rock in my shoe and I was walking on it and it started to hurt and I shot it full of Novocaine and kept walking on it, shot it full of Novocaine and kept walking on it, pretty soon it's got a gaping wound that's bleeding, but I shoot it full of Novocaine and patch it up with Elmer's glue or super glue, eventually that's going to turn gangrenous and it's going to potentially kill me. At what point do you go, oh, wake up, there's something wrong here, rather than just covering up stuff with, your symptoms with medication and stuff? So I am so grateful to be able to be on KSCO. I saw Michael Zwirling was on my Facebook lead. He's somewhere in Greece right now. And him and Amy, and they're on a ship. He was, hope you got your other 2 miles in today, Michael. And, Ben Azadi was on for a little bit. Ben Azadi, if you don't know who he is, he's written many books. Keto Flex is his #1 book. He just got picked up for Hay House for another book. We have all kind of grown up together with Dr. Pompa over the last 5 to 7 years. And, there's not enough of us to make a big enough difference worldwide or even in this country. And that's one reason that Dr. Pompa and his group, who we're very, very good friends with, we meet weekly and usually twice weekly on the Zoom meetings just to go over different cases. We meet several times a year at some location in this country or outside of the country to further our bond together and have fun, for sure. But we also work on learning some of the latest, greatest techniques, from stem cell injections to detoxification to farms that have never had a pesticide or herb put on it, herbicide. Still 6 feet of virgin topsoil. That's where his products are grown. So by the way, the core solution supplements that you're going to get with the Pompa program that we're starting on April 15th, and you definitely want to do this. Spend the $697. You will never be the same again. You're going to get the supplements, which are about $300. You can't buy these anywhere, and they're the most advanced, most absorbable supplements on the planet. They've been third-party tested for all chemicals, heavy metals, and impurities. They've been third-party tested, which means having nothing to do with the Pompa program. He sends them out for verification because he doesn't want to just get you to buy a product. He wants you to get a product, not buy a product, get a product. And that product is your health back or getting you on the road to health. Okay, so I'm real excited about it. April 15th to start date, but you got to sign up right now because you got to get the supplements in the mail. And so you can go, it's $697, $300, go to the supplements. And then the Pompa program, $397 for that whole corporation and organization to walk you through this first month. There's a portal that's unbelievable. The portal that he does with his whole program, that you're going to have access to it. And you're going to get the education out there to take your life back, because nobody's going to do it for you. You've got to take your life back. And, I have a couple patients come in every week that I talk about this to, when they look at spending money on their health, and insurance may or may not cover what it does. And in California, it barely covers anything naturally. I have a friend in Nebraska I was talking to. She goes, oh, you have the best insurance here. And you guys in California, I feel bad for you. In a way, I don't, because, you get what you pay for. And if something's handed to you, you're going to take advantage of it. So I always say, look, if you're going to go remodel your house, so many people remodel their house because it has to be remodeled. Emotionally, they have to have that remodel. They have to have that new car, that new toy, that new thing, whatever it is. Emotion drives spending. And most of that emotion is the emotion to have something. And when it comes to your health, the emotion is to lose something. If you don't fix it, you're going to lose it. But unfortunately, we've been basically brainwashed to the point where we go, well, if insurance doesn't cover it, I'm not going to do it. Insurance will never cover wellness. It will never cover getting you well. It might cover symptoms until you need something else and something else and something else, until you're, something else into the grave. But, and again, Western medicine, as far as emergency medicine, they spend about $1 billion a year on that, 4 billion on trillion, a trillion on fixing people, 3 trillion on covering up symptoms, masking symptoms. And so where do you want to be? We want to teach you to fish, and we want to help you learn how to get your body healthy so that you can live the life you want. It's never too late for a new beginning. And I want to just tell you how grateful I am that so many of you come into my office and, you listen to me and you like my show. You may not agree with everything I say, and don't go out and look it up for yourself, because I might get facts wrong now and then. But I will have my vitamin G coming on soon again. I'll have it going. Hopefully I'll get together with Ben Azadi here and Dr. Pompa. We all want to put this together so we can make these available to everybody. So many patients come in and go, yeah, it's in my car. I hold it every morning and I start thinking of things I'm grateful for. And I have to admit to you, sometimes I forget my bottle and I forget to do it. I need to be reminded of these things because, life is worth living and it is worth doing something about. And if, the biggest problem we have in this country, I'm looking at the time, I have 3 minutes left. Our biggest dilemma in this country is a 5-letter diagnosis I came up with. And those 5 words are 5-word diagnosis. My insurance won't cover it. And as long as you're imprisoned to the term, my insurance won't cover it, you're going to be imprisoned to the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies. And if you're not lucky enough to have amazingly strong genes like George Burns, then someday, if you don't have enough brain fog to remember, you're going to go, gosh, I wish I could have done something about it. Well, you can, okay? But you have to start soon. And I recommend starting next week with Dr. Dan Pompa's program. And here's the QR code on the Facebook thing. You can get it there. This is it on the YouTube channel that's coming out. Go ahead and take a copy of this, or call McCollum Chiropractic 831-459-9990. And you can do that to sign up. We'll help you get signed up on this, but you need to sign up on the portal. You'll get into the portal and your life will never be the same. Or if you just go, wow, that peripheral neuropathy thing sounded pretty interesting, and you've heard me talk about the TRT stem cell machine, then you need to just come in and go, hey, I want to do the $99 peripheral neuropathy testing. So we're going to go out with an Allman Brothers song here. And this is how I feel now and then, especially when things aren't going right. That happens to all of us. But here we go. Oh, I feel like I'm dying. Don't let that happen to you. Don't let that happen to you. Let's get you healthy. Give a call. We'll see you all next week. Thank you.